Hey, we want to welcome all of you here tonight. Thank you for being a part of the Veteran Orientation. This being our very first night of 4 weeks of orientation, and tonight we kind of have some things we want to do with you. First of all, we want to welcome you, and then we also want to introduce you to the team that is part of the SBF staff. Then you're going to go through some program information and expectations. We're also going to talk about the program structure and the overview. And then we're going to talk about adoption of dogs and those related topics with the dog. Then there will be a time of question and answer. And then at the end, we're also going to have you sign your contracts, and we'll go over all of that with you as well. So thank you for being here. As you guys already know, Soldier's Best Friend exists to help U.S. military veterans who are living with either PTSD or traumatic brain injury by providing them a dog, most of them rescued from a local shelter or brought in by a veteran sometimes, and then they are training together for 6 to 9 months until that dog can be qualified as a service dog for the veteran. We have graduated 359 veterans teams from this program, and every single one of them have seen a transformation and a difference in their lives, and so we're glad that you're here to be a part of that tonight. All right, some of our objectives for tonight I want to share with you. First of all, one objective is to introduce you to the Soldier's Best Friend team, and I guess I should start out by doing that right now. I am Milem. I am the Executive Director of Soldier's Best Friend. Then we want to clarify the point of contact for the issues you may have that arise during the program, who to call if it's a dog issue, or who to call if it's a program issue, or who to call if your mother hasn't talked to you in 3 weeks. We'll give you all that information tonight. And then we're also going to review the program structure, your commitment and dedication, and what our commitment and dedication is to you. And then we're going to go through the preliminary scheduling and next steps, and then the contract signing. So yeah, as you know, I'm Milem. I'm the Executive Director of Soldier's Best Friend. Pictures up here on the screen. Tamara Silva is our Development Manager, and she's in charge of making sure that the 2 major fundraising events that we do at SBF run smoothly each year. But she also does donor cultivation, and then she also will work with you to help you to be part of the events that we do, speaking at them or just being present at them when you graduate, so that we're able to have you be a part of that. Lynn Woodard, who you'll meet here in a little while, she'll be talking to you. She's the program manager. She's been part of the SBF family for like 3 years and is tremendous blessing to this organization. Calvin Hampton, who you've talked to, no doubt, in the midst of the interview process. He is our Veteran Services Specialist, and you'll hear from him here in a little while as well. Then Blake Rummel-Knott is our Adoption and Foster Specialist. She's in charge of all things dogs. She's also a trainer for us as well when she has time to do that. And you'll be hearing from her a little bit later tonight as well. And then Ashley Teese is our training coordinator. So she oversees all of the trainers across the state, making sure that they're all on the same page, making sure that they have the tools that they need to help you to be successful as you train your dog. Kathy Summer is our office manager, and so she oversees inputting of all the donations and helping with correspondences that go out. And then Kathy also will work with you when it comes time for graduation to get your pictures for graduation for us. Tammy Pulasi is our bookkeeper. She's also a Gold Star mom, and she loves Soldier's Best Friend. And at every event we do, Gold Star moms are present because Tammy brings them along with us. And then Kim Hernandez, she is our support specialist. And so you probably have heard from Kim, you just didn't know it, because all the emails you got saying, here's what you yet need for your application, those were coming from Kim. And she's there to help this program team make sure that all the things are in place that need to be in place, and then helps the development team with fundraising events, and then helps me by doing whatever it is I ask her to do. So she's a great help to the whole organization. All right, that's the team, and we're so glad that you've been introduced to them. And I know that there's a lot of them, but that's good. And the other person that's really important that you're going to meet sooner or later is your trainer. And I just want to reiterate from the executive director to you to say, trust your trainer. They understand what you're going through as a veteran with PTSD or a traumatic brain injury, and they know dogs. Trust them. They're going to help you be successful in this program. All right. Let me turn this over to Calvin Hampton, who is our Veteran Service Specialist, and he's going to talk to you about our program information and expectations.
Hello, veterans. I'm Calvin Hampton, your veteran services specialist. I just wanted to take a moment to highlight and discuss the absentee policy, who to contact if you need to call due to inavailability to make a training sessions, soldiers' best friends, overcorrection policy, and general guidelines that you may have to be considered. Absences. You and your trainer will discuss a training timeline and a schedule that best works for you. It is your sole responsibility to adhere to that schedule. If for any reason at all you can't make a training sessions, immediately reach out to your trainer. Absences are considered unexcused when there's a no-call or no-show within 24 hours. Just keep in mind that 15 minutes late equals one unexcused absence. Please be on time and adhere to the training. Be ready to have your dog ready for training. We understand that things come up and that things that come up are out of your control. We just ask that you get in touch with your trainer. The first line of communications is your trainer. Okay, overcorrections. Overcorrections will not be tolerated. Our program uses positive reinforcement. We do not abuse dogs. We do not allow the abusive dogs. For your first and second incidents, you will be given a verbal and written warning with the follow-up from the veteran services specialist. After your second warning, you may be at risk to be removed from the program. General guidelines. Just understand, guys, you are representing Soldier's Best Friend. Please do not show up intoxicated and leave your gun or any weapons in the car. Family members and support systems are allowed to attend training. Should there be any interruptions due to that, your family member will be actually removed and will not attend any other training sessions. Okay, so that concludes my portion of the brief. I'll be now followed by Lynn Woodard.
Hi everybody, I'm Lynn. I'm the program manager here. I have been with Soldier's Best Friends since July of 2020. I started as a trainer, and now I have moved up into this glorious position of program manager. I basically make sure that everything that happens in this building and happens across the state is done in a very professional and timely and efficient manner, and we just get it done and we get everybody to the finish line. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our program. It is not easy. It takes dedication and commitment. You get out of it what you put into it. All right, this is 6 to 9 months. Think about it, 6 to 9 months. It takes a while. We are not handing this to you. You have to work for it. All right, you are going to be training with us twice a week for an hour each time, and then the other 5 days a week. Yes, there's 7 days in a week. Those other 5 days of the week, you are going to have to practice on your own. We expect you to practice for an hour every day. That hour can definitely and should be broken up into smaller pieces so neither you or your dog gets frustrated. But that's kind of what it takes on just the basic level. You will have homework that your trainer will give to you, and then you in turn will also have to keep track of the work that you do in your training logs. That will be something that will prove at the end of the day that you have enough hours that it takes to graduate with your dog as a service dog. Again, like Mick said, trust your trainer. The trainers here are really good at what they do. They're very well supported in their positions. And if you're not sure, ask them. And the more honest you are with them and the more upfront you are with them, the easier it is for them to help you. If you try and hide who you are and you try and hide your symptoms, it doesn't help anything. The more we see, the faster we see it, the faster your dog sees it, the faster we all recognize it, and we find those tasks that actually help mitigate your symptoms. In the next couple of weeks, we are going to be doing some more training with you, just getting you geared up and ready to go. Next week's orientation will be on husbandry, how to take care of your dog, how to bring your dog home, vet appointments, how to do a wellness check on your dog. It's going to be fun. You'll get to play with a poodle. It's awesome. But that week we also go over ADA laws. You need to know what the laws are that support you and that are behind you once you have a service dog. The week 3, we're going to introduce you to training techniques. So more fun with dogs. There's going to be lots more dogs around here. For those of you that are not on campus, you will have a chance to go and shadow your trainer, the trainer in your area, to see what their training looks like and see what it looks like. We want you to kind of get a good idea of what it looks like and feels like before you actually get your dog. The last week, we're going to kind of wrap everything up, go over your handler manual a little bit more, and make sure that you are just ready to go and ready to get started. In that process, between now and those 4 weeks, if you have not gotten your dog at that 4 weeks, and you probably won't, and your own veteran dog may not be ready yet either, you are still able to go and shadow classes, training, stay engaged with us in any way that you want. A little bit more about the program. We do go through several testing periods while you're in the program. We start with a foundational skills test, which is the American Canine Club Canine Good Citizen Test. Every time, it's so hard. AKC, CGC, that's what we call it around here. It's 10 things that you have to do with your dog. It's very, very strict. You can't use food. It's hard. It's not an easy test. But once you pass that test, then you are actually able to go out in public and start training like service dogs. The other tests are what we call PAT tests, or public access tests. They start easy, Home Depot, Lowe's, hardware store. We build you up to mall, busy, weekend, as hard as we can make it, right? And so through that process, you're kind of stepping up to the hard stuff. In between your third and your fourth, we go to the airport. We have a really good relationship with Southwest Airlines. They enable us to go and meet at ticketing, walk down through TSA, down to a gate, board an empty plane, get our dogs under those seats, put them in the bathrooms, take a bunch of pictures, have a great time. We go back down to baggage claims so we can deal with all that noise and nonsense. If you haven't had a public transportation outing at that point, you get to ride the SkyTrain. It's very hard and it's very stressful, but at the end of the day, when you get through it, it's a huge milestone that you have passed at that point. Makes graduation and your final PAT test look easy. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I'm going to bring this over to Blake, who is our adoptions and all dog specialist, and she'll let you know the next steps there. The last thing I do want to say is that your support system, your family members, should be and can be a part of the training process. Sometimes it's really, really helpful if they're here because they see things that you don't see. They may remember things that you don't remember, right? There is a stipulation of that, though. If your family member becomes a little too enthusiastic or a little too involved or causes any kind of friction with the trainers or the training process, they will be asked to leave and they won't be a part of it. Your support system cannot train your dog, but they can support the work that you have done. We will go over this more in the coming weeks, and your trainer will keep reiterating that as well. But that's how it works with your family system. Next up is Blake.
Hi, I'm Blake. I'm the adoptions coordinator here. I'm also one of our dog trainers. I'm kind of all dogs, everything. I'm here to talk to you guys today about bringing your dog into the program and what the steps are for that. So after acceptance, what will happen is if you have your own dog, I will call and set up a behavior evaluation with you where I kind of temperament test the dog that you would like to bring into the program. As long as the dog passes a behavior evaluation, and we do a medical evaluation to make sure that the dogs do not have hip dysplasia. We also make sure that the overall health of your dog is good and capable of working. Your dog must be spayed or neutered to enter our program. If your dog is not spayed or neutered, we ask that you just wait to apply or be part of this until you're ready. Let's see. Everyone that needs an SBF dog, I will try my best to find you a dog as fast as I can, but unfortunately we do pull rescue dogs. And with that, a lot of behavior stuff can come up while they're in foster. They're in foster for 4 weeks just to get them used to a home life before we set them up with you guys. It can take 3, sometimes 6 months, depending on the rescue dogs and how much I can look and how picky you guys are. I ask that you don't be picky. You guys will have one meet and greet with your dog beforehand where you just are going to come hang out with your dog, make sure that you like it. I might set up a mini training session with the dog with you, just make sure that you guys are a good fit. And the next steps after that would be that you take the dog home for a weekend, make sure that the dog is okay in your home life and that you're ready to have a dog, and then you guys start training after that. Veterinary visits. So SBF does cover all of the initial medical evals for any veteran-owned dogs. Like I said, we pay for the x-rays. You guys don't have to worry about that. We use partners that are partnered with us for veterinarians. SBF dogs, that will all be set up before you even meet the dog. So typically, I do all that before we even adopt the dog, so you guys don't have to worry about meeting a dog, falling in love with it, and then it failing medical typically. That's all stuff that I get done beforehand. Next, I'm going to go over equipment. So we strictly are positive reinforcement trainers here. We only use martingales, head halters, stuff that's not going to hinder the dog's working effort. We don't want to punish the dog for not wanting to do stuff. So we will give you a leash, we'll give you a martingale, we'll give you boots if you need them. If you guys are getting an SBF dog, we'll give you a crate to use. Any equipment that you're going to need, just ask me first because we might have it, and if we don't have it, then I'll tell you and we'll send you to go buy it. Training and dog care equipment needs, like I said, everything that you need, just ask me. If I have it, we get a lot of stuff donated, I'll just give it to you. Otherwise, it'll be on you guys. Veterinary appointments for SBF dogs. So if you have one of our dogs, you must reach out to me for approval before taking your dog to the vet so that we can pay for it. You will be sent to one of our partnered veterinarians typically. We have them all over the valley. I've got them up in Prescott, Flagstaff, Tucson, Sierra Vista, Yuma, all over East and West Phoenix. So we'll find which one is closest to you and we'll set you up with them before you are going to need them. So if they need updated vaccines or anything like that, I'll send you to the vet. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'm dog everything. Next up, Lynn is going to come back and kind of go over our contract with you. Lynn?
Okay, next up we are going to just kind of do a brief review of what is in your contract that is in front of you, or if you're an outliner that's sitting in your email probably at this moment. We're just going to kind of go over the basics. I'm not going to read it word for word, just so you have an idea of what it is that we're asking of you, and then go ahead and sign these and get them back to us as soon as possible. That will kind of wrap it up from this end once we're done here. Of course, any questions that you may have, just throw them at us when we're done here. The first part of your handler agreement is basically describes what the program is and your responsibility with the program, that you are going to take care of your dog, you are going to attend the classes, you are open to home inspections if we feel we need to come in and do a home inspection. We might even do a drug test. We haven't done one yet, but we might have to go there. So the first one is just very program specific. You will check off whether you are going for a service dog or a therapeutic companion dog. And then at the end, I will go over some of the list of some of the things that could get you dismissed from the program. Failure to provide suitable food, shelter, exercise, grooming, and basic care for your dog. Failed drug test of the handler. Evidence of abuse or cruelty towards dog. Calvin went over this overcorrection earlier. It's just a non-negotiable. No one's going to hurt a dog in this program. Failure to train and pursue the program. If you just don't do the work and you're just not getting through the different steps, that is possible grounds for dismissal from the program. You have to do the work. Carrying, concealing weapons on our property or out in public when we're out doing outings. Leave it in the car. The other big one that isn't directly right in front of me right now is any kind of sexual harassment or aggressive behavior towards our staff. It will not be tolerated. And then the other part in here too is reiterating what our absence policy is. You get 4 excused absences, you get 3 unexcused absences. 15 minutes late 3 times is 1 unexcused absence. All of this can load up pretty quick. So, sounds harsh, sounds a little tough, right? You're like, how am I going to do this? There are leave of absences that are set up in case you need them. All right, so if you need to have surgery, if you've already booked a vacation, right? If you haven't, let's see if you can just put that off until you're done. That would be the best way to do it. Or if you need to seek treatment. We have leave of absences for those. We just ask that you clear that with Calvin. They all have to go through him. You can't just tell your trainer, you have to tell Calvin. The next section of your contract, let me just get there briefly, is our publication and media agreement. We live in a social media world, and let's face it, pictures are worth 1,000 words. We want to take pictures of your progress, of the things that you're doing in training. We never really post anything that, is you failing in any way. We're only going to post the good ones. But this basically gives us permission to put you on social media, brochures, flyers. We don't use that to get money directly, but we will use it for, promotional materials in-house. We also have sponsors that will pick up the entire cost of your training. And because they do that, it's very, very nice if we can send them little pictures, updates, so that they can see your progress and get excited about it, because they're going to be at your graduation more than likely as well. So that's your media agreement. The next one is your release of liability and indemnification. This is standard in any kind of dog world. It is risky to be around animals. They're unpredictable. This basically just says you can't sue us. We're giving you a free program. It is what it is. The next one is the overcorrections policy. I will go into a little bit more depth of this one. Things that we would consider overcorrection would be potentially steering your dog, dragging them around, holding them up so their feet are off the ground, definite overcorrection. Yelling at your dog, screaming at your dog is also overcorrection. Now, when we see this, your trainer is going to see it first. It's always when it happens. And they're going to take you aside. They're going to try and calm you down. And we're going to find other ways that we can do this so that it doesn't happen again. But overcorrections are very, very serious here. If you get into that third one, there is an investigation, and we will have witnesses. We will look at video footage. It's more than likely, if you get to number 3, you are out of the program. This last page is circle on it for the pre-survey. You'll be doing another one of these when you graduate. But this is basically you going over sort of your symptomology again. This gives us a really good idea of how much of an impact this program has on you. So what we will do, and it's just by numbers, we're not going to say this is Frank's when you graduate, but we're just going to go through and we're going to see if any of these numbers have changed and gotten better. This is what we also use to get grants and donors and sponsors, right? If we can quantify that there is a change in your life by going through this program, it's huge. It just pushes the program forward, and it helps us to know that we're doing the right thing. So that one, I know it can be a little bit emotional just thinking about it. So just take a deep breath through this one. Feel free to talk to your support system or anyone else, counselors, after you've gone through this. Sometimes it can stir things up, but like I said, it's very, very helpful. And that is it. So any other questions, please feel free to reach out. For anyone who was not in attendance in the Peoria campus for this veteran orientation tonight, please keep an eye on your emails, and everyone that's here as well. Keep an eye on your emails. The next few weeks, you're going to be getting more information on the husbandry, on training, on getting started into the program. That's the easiest way for us to kind of convey some of that information to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to call any one of us. And thank you for coming, and have a good night.